This week's topic is processes for developing a theory of change. And the reading this week is Chapter 6 in your textbook. So this chapter, Chapter 6, poses several questions that you will need to answer in order to effectively develop a theory of change. The first question is who should be involved? Who are the stakeholders of the planned program, and what is their role in contributing to developing the theory of change? The next is what approaches should be used. Rarely is only one approach used to develop a theory of change. You're often going to want to use a couple different strategies to develop the theory. Decision 3 is how are workshops and interviews helpful for developing your theory? So these could include, again, workshops to be held with different stakeholder groups for your program, and or one-on-one interviews with people who have particular knowledge or insight to the problem that you're trying to address with the program. Decision 4 is how do you address challenges? How in the program theory development process specifically, sometimes stakeholders may have different points of view or different priorities. How are you going to manage those as they arise during program theory development? Decision 5 is how much effort and resources should be invested in the program theory. So of course, we think this is a good thing to do from a conceptual standpoint, but the reality is that there are budgets to be met and people have limited amounts of time. So having a plan for how resources will be utilized and how much time the whole exercise of developing the program theory should take. And decision 6 is when is it time to revisit a program theory? Have things changed in the landscape of where the program is situated that would necessitate revisiting the program? For example, have laws or other regulations changed? Have educational requirements changed for the program that you're talking about for the program theory? Now, sometimes in this chapter, it can come across as a little bit confusing because we might be talking about program theory for existing programs. And the truth is that program theory can be developed really at any time. Ideally, a program should be theory-based from an initiation, but we know that that's just not always the case for various reasons. Also, the theory can change over time, either out of necessity or there can be some theory drift. If it's still achieving the desired outcomes, then that might be actually totally fine. So think about how you might develop a program theory in the context of something that's brand new versus something that is already in place and perhaps you're planning an evaluation of an existing program.